Hello, I'm Greg Harrison with the USDA Market News Service here in St. Joe, Missouri with your National Feeder Cattle Summary this week. Looking at prices this week compared to last week, yearling cattle trading mostly fully steady to $3 higher. Calves steady to $5 higher. Got several auctions on the yearling cattle this week, calling full advance really on the yearling heifers. Yearling demand continues to be good in all trading areas. It still remains the best in the north central plain states, especially where high corn producing areas are. And they got a lot of farmer feeders in the market there to buy cattle, especially yearlings and calves. Signs this week of box beef demand really improving with seasonal strength as we go into Labor Day weekend. Box beef levels felt a bit sluggish until last Friday. Last Friday, choice box beef closed $1.15 higher, and that really kind of lit a fire on the grill for box beef cutouts to move higher this week. And choice product this week, as the end of on Thursday, had gained $8.75 on choice product, closing Thursday at $245.09, and that was up $8.75 since Monday. This week we saw some wide shifts and spreads in a lot of the commodity markets, and that got started on Wednesday. USDA came out with their crop report, and it's all had larger than expected corn and soybean production. Corn came in at 13.69 billion bushels. That was up from 13.5 billion bushels last month, and above all trade estimates were mostly at 13.3 billion bushels from analysts. Average yield came in at 168.8 bushels per acre. That was 2 bushels per acre higher than earlier forecast, and it was running mostly 4 bushels per acre higher than analysts were predicting. Corn ending stocks for the 2015-16 season came in at 1.7 billion bushel. That was 114 million bushel higher than last month. And this had September and December corn trading mostly 33 cents lower over Tuesday and Wednesday, and then Thursday corn closed 6.5 cents higher. And this should be welcome for news for livestock producers, as feed costs should remain relatively low and support expansion in beef and pork and poultry. Other news this week: on Tuesday of this week, the Dow plunged over 200 points lower, and on Tuesday saw a lot of the commodity markets all trading lower. A lot of that coming from news from China as they devaluated their currency on slumping economy, and they're the world's second largest commodity economy. And this had just a lot of the commodity markets trading lower on Tuesday, and maybe spilled even over into Wednesday. But this week, cattle futures for both live and feeder cattle futures have been mostly negative and sluggish, as the markets seem to be trying to decide if it's a bearish or bullish market, as both sides are looking at facts and figures and kind of making it a roller coaster on the feeder and live cattle futures. And really, a lot of these feeder cattle futures, you look at what they're doing through the auctions, and what live cattle last week traded from 150 to 153 on live prices, not really following the futures. On Wednesday, feeder cattle contracts were at one point $2.50 higher at midday, as corn was trading mostly 20 cents lower, but then live cattle futures sold off, and feeder cattle futures then followed suit, losing all their gains and closing mostly on a negative side. But feeder cattle prices this week and last week, through the auctions and through the video sales that we've seen, have all been pretty resilient compared to the cattle futures, as the market's been have been very good on yearlings and calves this week and last week trading. Looking at Western Video this week, they had a 2-day auction video sale on Monday and Tuesday, selling around 42,000 head of feeder cattle, good top quality feeder cattle. 69% of their receipts were from the north central states. Some of the highlights included 950 head of yearling steers, averaging 970 pounds, sold at $213.40 weighted average price for current delivery. There was 680 head of steer calves weighing 430 pounds that traded at $345 for October delivery. And then on Wednesday at the Hub City Livestock Auction in Aberdeen, South Dakota, they sold 2 pot loads of yearling steers, averaging 865 pounds for a weighted average price of $218.99. Looking at some regional weighted averages this week: North Central region, 600-700 pounds, running about $3 lower at $249.98. 800 to 900 pounds, about $1 lower at $216.39. In the South Central regions, 5 to 600 pounds trading $2 higher at $251.55. 6 700 pounds also $2 higher at $235.31. 7 to 800 pound steers averaging $1 higher at $219.28, and 8 to 900 pound steers, yearling steers, that was fully steady with last week at $209.61. Then Southeast region, calves win 4 to 500 pound steer calves $2 higher at $260.73, and 5 to 600 pounds $1 higher at $237.51. Well, that's your markets for this week. Thanks for listening, and be back with you next week.